But yeah, we're just gonna chill. Do it. Emery, let me know when we start. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's a good cup of tea, that. Right, welcome back. Welcome back. Good start. This is episode 7, 6.
Henry, what episode is it?
Henry don't know. This is the first one. Right. As you can see, we've got a few changes. First of all, the whole thing's changed a bit. We thought I tried to up the production a little bit. I got shout out to Henry behind the camera, changing cameras and all of that. So from this forward, should be looking like this. We're trying to get it a little bit more professional, as I say. So I do apologise for the gap in episodes, a couple of weeks. It's just taken some time to get it all sorted. But welcome back. Welcome back. Why do I keep
What
saying
is it
Dak?
with you? Dak.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Father of mine. How are we doing? How are we feeling?
Hello, son. Feeling good?
Feeling good.
Feeling good. Had a little nap. Had my coffee.
I came in when you were asleep as well.
I
You're
did.
proper snoring. But on this wad of books, this isn't part of the set. This is actually part of the episode. So we will get into that shortly.
Yeah, we're going to read every single one.
Yep. We're going to go one for one, page for page.
Yeah, so this is like a 4-day episode.
Yeah, and we won't stop until we finish. Henry, I didn't tell you that. Have you got work tomorrow? Okay, well, cancel. Anyway, so I just want to catch up. What's been going on the past couple of weeks? Obviously, you had your interclubs.
Yes, I did.
Your
have
Muay Thai
yes,
interclubs.
I did have my interclub.
We will have a little talk. Being an older geezer, I told you at the interclubs and after how proud I was and how
Yes,
much
you
it
did.
was.
That meant a lot. Yes.
How much I almost learnt from you with the fact that you kind of took your ego out of it and was like, I know I'm.
I've not got an ego.
No, but in the sense of you do have a bit of an ego. Everyone does. But in the sense of like you went, okay, I'm gonna be one of the old ones there and one of the newer ones for a long time, but I'm not bothered about that. I just want to learn the sport.
Yeah.
And very quickly, obviously, you became part of the gym and everything
I have.
like that.
Yes. I've
And,
been welcomed with open
So
arms.
how's the journey gone? How have you been enjoying it?
It's been a tough. It's been almost a year. In fact, it's pretty much been a year since you sucked me into this and introduced me to Muay Thai. And it's certainly been a journey of discovery in as much as what I am capable of and what belief I have in myself in engaging with, other fighters that are literally half my age, if not less than half my age. I don't think I've ever, in fact, I've probably never been fitter or more flexible or more mobile or stronger or with more stamina now than I've been since my early teens.
Okay,
It's just been a fantastic, absolutely fantastic awakening, if you like. And one of the main things is learning to get hit and not so much enjoying getting hit, but just kind of not even thinking about it.
Not taking it personally.
Yeah, not taking it personally, but not like you've seen me. I've been hit quite a few times. Been knocked down, bashed about.
I don't think you've been knocked out, but you've been rocked. You were rocked in the interclubs.
I was rocked in the interclubs. I was rocked in one of the first sparring sessions with Ian, one of my friends who started as well, who's actually older than me, but he's
had a few fights.
He's had a boxing background, a few fights, and it's that realisation that, oh shit, I can actually take a hit, and it's not as bad as you think it is, and you kind of zone it out. When we're during the interclub, I was that was about a month ago. I was meant to be matched with someone 2 years younger than me,
and similar
experience. It was his first interclub as well, and I don't know what happened. I don't know whether he just didn't turn up or it basically he wasn't there. So I was matched with Shelley, who was
Shout out to Shelley.
It was
a lovely guy. It was
at
really
first, I
nice.
thought it was a girl, Shelley. I was like, they've matched with a girl. Which the girls in our class are tough, man.
Shelley's a boy's name as well.
But it was a lad, Shelley, 26 years old. He probably had about 5 or 6 kilos on me. Clearly way more experience.
He definitely came from at least a boxing background. He had definitely.
And he battered me for 3 rounds.
But you had fun. You stayed up.
I
you
loved
kept
it.
Going.
I absolutely loved it. And there was one thing I promised myself: I wasn't gonna back off. No matter what he was doing, I was just gonna keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. And I think I surprised him in the first round because I threw out a low kick, quite a heavy low kick, and then I apologised to him because he went, "Oh, like you know."
It's an interclubs, but also you don't need to apologise. Like
I know.
That's funny.
And and then after that, I was quite tense. I was quite tight, and I was, so
It
that
takes it out of you.
it takes it out of you, and the anxiety of doing the first one, and it was a big day, and we were there all day, so it was waiting and thinking, oh, is that my opponent? Is that him? Oh, which one is it? Which one is it?
By the way, for a bit of context, for people who know interclubs, sometimes there's 50, 60 odd fights, and you're there all day. You were like 48th or something like that.
We were literally the probably we were on, and then I think there was two more, and that was it. So we were like number 40 something.
Yeah. So to give a bit of context, interclubs are basically like a friendly. Like you're going in there, you're matched up against someone who's from a different gym. You have the same atmosphere as a fight. You're in the ring. You have a crowd. You have people watching, people cheering on. But it's a controlled spar. So if you're going too hard, the ref will tell you to calm down. It's basically there to give you experience to like move up, so you get used to being in a ring, kind of get rid of that ring rust and everything like that. So sometimes there'll be 40, 50 fights because they'll just put it. There's no winner or loser. Afterwards, they just raise both your hands.
You say that, but there is.
Well, yeah, but what I mean, no. What I mean
like
is there's no.
He certainly walked away from that and went, "Yeah, I kicked fuck out of him."
But there's no.
And I walked to, I went, "Yeah, he kicked fuck out of me."
But there's no raise a hand going winner.
No.
But yeah, it's just for experience and to improve your experience basically. And so sometimes there is 50, 60 fights, and we were there quite early. You didn't go on till like 1, 2 in the afternoon.
No, it was later than that.
Oh yeah,
it was later than that.
It was like 5.
Yeah, it was 4, 5 o'clock.
So there was probably like a good 5 hours that we were just kind of, and that does mentally drain you a bit when you're first into clubs or even a fight, and you're like, because you have to get there, and then you're like, I have to just chill and kind of keep this energy, like not disperse it, but also control it.
I wish we could get
that
it up
long.
on the screen. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be a perfect opportunity. I should have got some because there's videos of it. We should have got some videos up but we will sort that out. I mean, it's just preparation.
But I think it's one of those where when you do something like any martial art, certainly when you've never had a background, like my background has always been lifting, weightlifting, powerlifting, athletics. Never done anything. Never done any boxing. Nothing. Not even when I was young. And I think when you're my age as well, I'm 54. It's something new to do, and then you think, how good can I actually get? That's how, this is all to do with your concept here. Like, there's a lot of people that go, you're 54 years old, you can't be fighting people half your age. Do you know what? I fucking can. I can, and I will, and I shall, and I'm going to do it. And I think there's a point where the amount of training I'm doing, why am I doing it? What for? There's got to be, for me at least, there has to be an end goal. For me now, it's not become just about getting fit. I just want to get fit. I want to see, ultimately, take on a fight next year, whether that's beginning of the year, middle of the year, or at some point next year, to actually do a full-on promoted fight. That's what I want to do. And I think the interclub, I was a bit, should I? And I said to myself, that's going to be the tipping point. I'll either come away from that and go...
That's what interclubs are for.
I'll either come away from that and go, nah, that's not for me. Or I'm going to come away and go, loved it. And it was the latter. I come away and went, I actually loved every minute of that. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the camaraderie. I loved just the whole... and what I loved more than anything is that afterwards, the lad that I was up against, absolute gentleman, we must have spent 20 minutes after chatting, hugging, kissing.
Kissing?
not kissing him, just like, I'm thanking him for beating shit out of me, basically. But he was just the same. He was like, mate, at your age to do this, that was incredible. You don't worry, you did really well. And that was a real confidence boost, you know, to think, I'm 54 years old. You know, there's not, I don't know, apart from Jerry, you know, Arena, who fought here.
Also, yeah. Jerry is
but he's done it for,
like, he's a 6 or 8 time champion.
Yeah.
Like, he's,
I mean, I don't know really anyone my age. There's a friend of ours, Ian, who we mentioned earlier. He's got a boxing background. He does Muay Thai now, but he's got the background. He's done boxing. He's had fights. But there's not, there's no one else in my circle of friends or people I know my age that are doing that. Yeah. And I just thought, that was going to be the tipping point. I'll do it. I'll either walk away and go, no, I'll just do the training, or I'll come away and go, definitely want to do more of this. And it was the latter. It was really, really good experience. I took a lot of positives from it, because you come back and you go, right, okay, I need to work on this. I need to do that.
What was the biggest thing mentally? So we're talking about now what it's done for you and what kind of journey you've been on and where you want to go. After that first interclubs, because I believe there's a lot of because initially you did this to work on yourself and work on fitness, and you just grew to love the sport. And when you work on yourself and do something for yourself, often you learn a lot about who you are, and doing that, you're able to figure out what you actually do want. So it helps you with figuring out what goals you want to achieve and what you want to reach for and stuff like that. So in terms of that interclubs, relating it to everyday life and just living day to day, what mentally or did you learn from physically doing the interclubs after, where you were like, well, I didn't know this about myself before I did it, and now doing that, you're able to come away with something that you can carry into.
See, for me, I've you know, I'm of an age now. I'm not like, I want to do this. Really, for me, it's a mental thing now. But what it did teach me is, you know what, nothing's as bad as you think it's going to be. You know, I had this thing, I was going to get in there, and I was going to... But you know what? I actually did all right.
Yeah.
You know, for someone my age, my experience, against someone like that, I wasn't too bad. And it gave me a lot of confidence in what I'm doing, and to carry it on and go, do you know what? I'm actually not that bad. If I can get in a ring with someone less than half my age and do I mean, look, they're only 3 rounds of 1.5 minutes, but
they're the hardest 3 rounds you'll ever do. Yeah.
It's like they're never ending, you know, and I don't know what was keeping me up, but you saw me at the end of that last round. I just fell. I just collapsed on the floor. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move, but something was keeping me going, and I just thought, it was just an incredible feeling. Yeah. And I came away from there, and I had, I don't know, it's kind of really settled me, made me more relaxed, made me less stressful. You know, I'm driving around, I'm not getting irritated by people on the road. I'm kind of just, it's just changed my whole kind of mental outlook on things. You know, I'm not kind of, something happens, I just go, right, well, it's nothing I can, it's like in the first episode we did, and I mentioned about the whole, you know, accept the things that you can't change, and the things you can, do something about it.
Yeah.
And I suppose to a certain degree, although I'm saying that, a lot of the times I've been in situations where I wouldn't implement that. Okay. And I'd go, you know, well, and I'm stressing about the things I can't change. And it's doing this interclub as, I don't know what it's triggered in my mind, but I'm just a lot more kind of relaxed about everything. You know, I think, I don't know, when you push yourself to that point and beyond, you just think, do you know what, nothing else really matters, really. You know, it's not as bad as it seems. You know, it's like we've got a situation at the moment in the house where the broadband has been down for 3 days.
By the way, Mum's been moaning about that.
Right? Now, before, I would have been on the phone and trying to ring Virgin and trying to go online and what are you going to do? There's nothing I can do about it. So for 3 days, I've not even thought about it. All I've thought about is training.
And funny thing is like the outcome's the same if you stressed or
It
didn't.
is. No matter, whatever's going to happen is going to happen whether you stress or not. And kind of that's kind of the feeling I had going into that interclub. I thought that, all right, there's no winner or loser, but you do the interclub and someone does better. You know, you do come, like I said earlier, he probably went, yeah, I'll beat him. Right? But then, is it more he's going to go, yeah, I'll beat him, but he was 54 years old and he's only been doing it a year. Of course I beat him. Whereas I'm like, yeah, he beat me, but he's 26 and I've only been doing it a year. But it was a different perspective. It was a different perspective. And it's just the most, I think it's the best thing ever that I've found. The most beautiful thing that I've found is doing this Muay Thai and training and the people that are around it and supporting each other. And there's a real, it makes you kind of accept everybody. You know, we train. There's girls in our class, in our team that train, and you treat them exactly the same as the lads. There's no kind of, oh, well, that's a girl, or she's younger than me, or she's older, or there's no egos. There's no bullshit.
Yeah,
and I quite like that.
I think that's as well down to the fact that you are held accountable.
Yeah.
With a lot of this day and age, people can get away with a lot and get away with saying a lot and not having to back it up.
There's a lot of people that come out with bollocks, right? And there's not you can't really pull them up on it, but doing what we do, because you do it as well, you can't get away with that shit.
Yeah.
If you turn up and give it the big un, you're found out pretty quickly.
It's either if you're giving it the beat, you better have the skill to back it up.
You better, yeah.
Because, like you said, if not, you're found out really quickly. Because it's a very simple way to find out. Okay, let's spar.
And not only you found out, but you get hurt.
Yeah, there's consequences.
Yeah, definitely consequences. Yes.
But talking about when you mentioned talking about perspective, and when you mentioned that no one you know your age in your friend group does it, and that you've spoken to people about it, and they've said, "Oh, but you're in your 50s. How you can't do it." It's quite interesting as well, where there's no realistically, we all know that as you grow older, your body changes, and you can't be in that 20-year-old body forever.
No.
But there's nothing stopping you from doing similar to what you're doing and going, okay, this is difficult. Yes, it's easier for someone who's younger, but there is nothing, there's no physical proof that says I can't do this. So why is everybody telling me, surprised that I can, if that makes sense? It's interesting the perspective others have, where they go, okay, because I haven't heard of it, it must just, you're 50 and you're doing it.
I think, you see, when we get to, as we're getting older, you're 23, right?
Did you nearly forget my age?
Nearly forgot your name.
I nearly forget my age sometimes. So I don't
right,
know.
all you lads and girls that I train with in the team, in Team Strike Back at the gym, right? You're all that sort of age. You're all bulletproof. You can go out, you can have a few beers, you can train the next day, not a problem. You could do that in your 30s, probably. Once you start getting into your late 40s and early 50s, all that stuff that you were doing up to that point, it all starts to catch up on you, right? It all starts to have an impact. Smoking, drinking, eating shit, not exercising, doing too many drugs, smoke, all that. It all catches up on you. And I think my personal belief is there's a pivot point. When you get to about 50, 51, right, there's a tipping point where if you just carry on that lifestyle, not exercising, not doing anything, having a very sedentary lifestyle, just basically eating and drinking what you want, not thinking, is this going to be good for me? I think before long, you start to experience a lot of health issues. And I think that's a lot of health issues these days for people of our generation. I see it all the time. They're in their mid-50s, late 50s. They're overweight. Oh, my leg hurt. This hurts. That hurts. Oh, I had to go to A&E. It's because you've led you've not led 100%.
What's the word?
You've led a sedentary life, and you're not doing anything, and eventually your body goes, fuck this, I'm not going to help you, you're not helping me. And I think there's that tipping point. So you know, I have got friends that are of my age that, you know, if they watch this, I'm sorry if you know, but they're overweight, they're not fit, they're unhealthy, they drink too much, they eat shit, and as sure as I've got a hole in my arse, give it another 5 to 7 years, and they'll all start experiencing health problems, health issues, you know, aches, pains, and it's all to do with that kind of like. And to a certain degree, son, I decided to do it out of fear because I don't want to be like that. And I was getting bored doing a lift. I thought, I've got to find something.
By the way, sorry, could you move your arm? It's scraping against the wire. Yeah, cheers, carry on.
And I thought, I've got to find something that's going to, I can engage with and is going to really push me. And I'd never even thought of martial arts. Never even thought of that. I was thinking more, maybe I'll start running. Maybe I'll start doing. Never even given martial arts a thought. And until you introduced it to me, and I think there's no barrier to people starting it. I mean, when I started, I couldn't even, I could literally just lift my leg about. Now I'm doing head kicks and spin kicks and doing, like today, 14 rounds of sparring, you know, 3-minute rounds. And I'm sparring with lads your age, girls and lads like your age. I didn't think I'd be doing it, but I just thought, do you know what? Why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Why can't I?
I think as well.
Why?
That's what I'm saying. There is no reason
No,
why you can't.
But it's because people, I don't know what it is. They think, oh, I'm 50, I can't do it. Why can't you do it? And I think a lot of it is.
By the way, there's something that I want to read to you. I was going to do it later. I am going to read this particular one now because it relates very strongly to what you were saying.
Okay.
There's a book called The Courage to be Disliked, and there's a passage in it that talks about this idea of people that want to do something but don't do it.
Okay, go on then. Yeah.
So I just thought it was something.
But I was just going to say, I think a lot of it, people are self-conscious about their own abilities to do something.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go, oh yeah, but I'm not sure. You know, I go in a gym and just do it. It's like we will say, just do it for fuck's sake. What's the worst that's going to happen? You do it, you go, no, I don't really enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you
At
might
least
do
you'll
it.
figure out what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So to give a bit of context, this book is The Courage to be Disliked, and the format of it is between a younger kid and a philosopher. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
So the whole book is them having a conversation,
Okay.
and it's talking about a certain philosophy and why he thinks it is the way to go and what to follow, kind of thing. But he talks about. So I'll just read the passage. I have a young friend who dreams of becoming a novelist, but who never seems to be able to complete his work. According to him, his job keeps him too busy, and he can never find enough time to write novels, and that's why he can't complete work and enter it for writing awards. But is that the real reason? No. It's actually that he wants to leave the possibility of, I can do it if I try, open, by not committing to anything. He doesn't want to expose his work to criticism, and he certainly doesn't want to face the reality that he might produce an inferior piece of writing and face rejection. He wants to live inside that realm of possibilities, where he can say that he could do it if he only had the time, or that he could write if he had the proper environment, or that he really does have the talent for it. In another 5 or 10 years, he'll probably start using the excuse like, I'm not young anymore, or I've got a family to think about now. And then the youth says, I can relate all too well to how he must feel. And the philosopher goes on to say, he should just enter his writing for an award, and if it gets rejected, so be it. If he did, he might grow or discover that he could pursue something different. Either way, he would be able to move on. This is what changing your current lifestyle is about. He won't get anywhere by not submitting anything. So I'll leave it there because it goes on, but it's that.
It's fear. It's fear. People are scared of failure. People are scared of making themselves look like dickheads. People are scared of not presenting themselves in a favourable light. It's fear. That's ultimately what it is. It's fear. What if no one likes it? What if I can't do it? What if it goes back to our very first episode. Just do it. You know, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. Everyone. So when people say, I haven't got time, like I work full time, but I still find time to train, to spar, to do one-on-one sessions. I make it work. And if someone really wants to do something, they will make it work. And in that passage, you could apply that to anything. You could replace.
Yeah, he talks about a writer, but you can replace that with
replace
anything.
it with Muay Thai. You can replace it with running. You can replace it
with drawing, with art, with
exactly.
trying to get some sort of degree. I mean, whatever it is to you personally.
I mean, you know what I'm like. Everyone it's become a bit of a running joke. Everyone I meet now go, you got to do Muay Thai.
I know. By the way, I'm mixing up the guests because this isn't just a fighting podcast, but it sounds like we just promote Muay Thai on this and that's it. But no, it's it's very much. I feel like people are scared, and the whole Eleutheria thing and the whole concept behind the idea of Eleutheria is don't be afraid to throw yourself into something, and even if it's just to see if you like it.
Yeah.
Because if you do something and you go, say for instance, you're working, I don't know, you're clearing tables, and you're like, I really enjoy drawing and I want to make a comic book. And so you just spend an hour every evening just drawing. And slowly you draw a bit more, and you start to make something. Maybe after the first week, you go, do you know what? I really like the idea of it, but actually, it's not really drawing I'm interested in. Maybe it's something in... I like watching movies, and I like the visual, and then you figure out maybe something else I enjoy. But whatever happens, it's irrelevant, the outcome. It's the action you take. Because either way, you'll figure out if you enjoy it or you don't enjoy it, where you want to go from there, more about yourself. And I feel like people kind of lose that idea of prioritising their own interests and going, okay, if I enjoy this, let me pursue it and see what happens. And I think the combination of kind of pretend busyness where people go, I can't, I've got this job,
I've got to do this, and I
feel like that and the fear.
I've got a bad back. I've got that's like everyone.
But that and the fear of failure keeps people back from going, no, let me just try it and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have to want to do it.
Yes,
you know, if I was chatting to a friend and he was saying to me, oh, do you know what, Ed, I've really got to think of doing something healthy, I'd say, why don't you come with me to a Muay Thai class? You know, they have to, but someone that you just say you should do it.
No, but what I mean is like everyone. Okay,
but what makes me what I find the human psyche is very funny. If you say to someone, I'll be chatting to a friend. He's not even mentioned that he wants to get fit or anything like that. But he'll say, you seem to have lost a lot of weight. You look well and blah. Yeah, I'm doing Muay Thai, and I go, all right. And I go, oh, you should give it a go, right? I'm not telling them but straight away they go, oh yeah, but you know what? Because I work a lot, I don't finish work till late, and I go, well, I'm not telling you to. I'm just saying, if you ever get the chance. So straight away they're putting a barrier up to say, I'm too busy. I can't really do it. Oh, I've got a bad back.
But what I mean by pursuing something, like everyone has, and if it could be as small as like you just think of it now and then, but everybody has some sort of interest in something.
Of course, yeah.
So I'll give you an idea. Luke, if you're watching it, shout out. When we were kids, he would always like put on music and freestyle. And he was the kid that was always like, oh, should we like make some music and stuff? And it was literally just us having a few beers and dicking around. And we would make like a joke out of it, like we'd have fun with it and everything like that. But through listening to music and do it, he realised, wow, this is something I actually really enjoy doing. And now he's pursuing that, and he's got music out, and he's becoming an artist. There's always something. Maybe at the end of the day, you're...
And how many people probably say to him, you're going to do what? What are you going to do that for?
Yeah, exactly. And there's always something people do on their own that they really enjoy doing, that they could have a career and make a life out of, but they're too scared of other people's opinions. They're too scared of failure. They keep themselves busy with these fake things to kind of make it easier on themselves that they're not doing it. But I think that you need to, like, you owe it to yourself to at least try.
Yeah, of course.
And to just go, okay, maybe I'll just do 10 minutes every night, and maybe that turns into 20 minutes, and maybe that turns into a conversation with someone who knows someone who likes something that isn't that, but is similar to it, and maybe that's what you love. But you don't ever find that if you don't actually go and take the action, and despite the fear, go, okay, let me try it and see what happens.
See, for me with the Muay Thai, I never had the intention at first it was, okay, I've never done, all right, let's give it a go. I've never done martial arts before. So that very first, I think the very first one was, I had a one-on-one with Tom. I think that was
No, I think the first one, me and you went to a session on like a Monday.
That's right, yeah. And then I was like, okay, this is okay. This is all right. And I was knackered in a nice way. I thought, oh, I like that. I'm sweating. I've never sweated in the gym, but I was sweating doing this.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, I quite like this. How can I, and then we started chatting about doing some one-on-ones with your coach. So I thought, okay, let's get, and it just sucked me in. It just sucked me in, and I just made time for it.
Yeah.
And generally people, as I say, people want to have to do something.
Oh, of course.
But they always use the excuse, either work or I got a bad back or I got a sore leg or something physical. There always are two reasons, always. And it just makes me laugh. I'm like, I'm not telling you shit. I'm just, But you know what? If they don't want to do it, it's down to them, you know. But if someone asked me, came to an Ed, I really want that, I would say, come with me. And there's our friend Ian, he's come with me.
There is a few people that have done that, and it is just taking action and going, okay, let me just see what opportunity I can create in this, and let me just do it, because I feel like some people just don't take the action, and that's all it is. It's so simple, yet, like, even this podcast, I had this idea for, and I'm not exaggerating here, years. Like, you found this notebook the other day that I made probably a year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, is that how long you?
Yeah. About doing it, and Luke again. I was speaking to him, one of my mates, about doing a podcast and all of that. And I always had the idea, but I never did it for two reasons. Number one, because
work, and number two, sore back.
No, but number one, it was because it was because I was scared of what people would think. I'd be like, oh no, people would see it and so. And number two, I would hear like, it is a cliche, like a group of boys to get together and they go, oh, we should start a podcast, and everyone's starting podcasts now, and it's like a group of lads, and it's the most like shallow conversation. You're like, oh, no one wants to listen to this apart from the geezers that are on it, because they want to hear their own voice. But then I realised what I want to do isn't that. What I want to do is actually present an idea and promote an idea and a concept and create something out of it. And with that, I realised, okay, now I've got a whole different perspective on starting this podcast. And I did have a little bit of, what people, and still to this, like, still now, we're only in like the 7th or 8th episode, and there's times where I put an episode out and be like, oh, like.
Yeah, but you've done 7 or 8. Most people, they say most people, if they start doing this, they get to about 2, and then they go, I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, even now, my goal is to, at the moment, because I know I want to do more, but is to get to 100. So I'm not bothered about anything else. I just want to do 100 episodes.
Yeah.
So, and through uploading them, I realised, wow, people are sharing this, people are talking about it, people like it. It's not actually as bad as I thought. Like, it was more inflated in my head that I was like, people judge it, people think, oh, he's doing a podcast. And I was like, oh, no, it's actually not as bad as I thought, but I only knew that from taking the action and starting.
In this day and age, certainly our generation, there's an element of people are so consumed with what other people are going to think, they don't move forward. They're so scared. Oh, what are they going to put on social media? What are they going to do this way? They're so obsessed with everyone else's opinion and what everyone else is going to say and what everyone else is going to think. They never take action and move forward because they have that fear of, well, what if no one likes it? So, what's their opinion matter? I'm only going to listen to someone's opinion that's doing what I'm doing, or that's successful in what I'm doing. If I'm training Muay Thai and someone comes up to the gym that's never done it and starts critiquing what I'm doing, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm like, mate, I've been doing this a year now. You're not. Well, I'm not going to listen to your opinion. Means nothing to me. But if there's Liam Harrison comes up and says, do you know what, Ed, if you I'm going to stop and I'm going to listen to him because he's a world champion Muay Thai fighter. And I think, unfortunately, people have this barrier of exactly that. I'm not going to do it because what if no one likes it? or someone's opinion. Well, I didn't think you did that very well. Yeah, what are you doing at the moment? Oh, you're sitting there watching it, criticising, and you're not doing anything with your life. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is fear.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is fear of failing, fear of opinion. But who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
And I do want to, because this does lead on to the whole reason this fucking stack
This
of
tower
books
of
here.
books.
Henry, how long have we been going?
4 hours.
Oh, wow.
Right, got half hour. You got half hour of my time.
Okay, so...
Because my back's really playing up.
Shut up. But anyway, what changed what changed my way of thinking in terms of judgment, in terms of, oh, what if this, what if that, is number one, I stopped actively looking at social media as much. And number two, I went to, of the things I was interested in, I went to the source material of them things and started reading about them and realised that the people that did them things had the exact same feelings and emotions, did them anyway, and were the only people that were successful at that said thing. So, for instance, I would say Muay Thai, or say, I'm trying to think of a book that relates directly, but I would look at something I'm really interested in, and say, for instance, starting this podcast, and there's so many people that have started them, and there's so many judgments on the internet. I'm going on a bit of a tangent here. I'm trying to reel myself back, if you can't tell. But I started reading topics that interested me based on the idea of Eleutheria, and based on I've always had this idea of freedom, what it meant to me, and so I started reading, instead of going on TikTok or YouTube and just seeing, because what I find is them videos are opinions about other people's opinions, and it's easier to just go to the source material and go, okay, let me read a book on judgment, on a philosopher who talks about freedom, and let me decide for myself what my opinion on finding my own freedom is, and then you find that once you go and you look at them videos, say for instance I go, okay, I'm scared of being judged on this, or I'm scared of like what people will think, let me look at these books about, so one I read with regards to, I'm trying to think back to the name now, but that one, the Courage to be Disliked, conveniently it's right here. I read that genuinely because I was I'm starting a podcast, and Courage to be Disliked, I was like, well, I am a bit scared of what people think. What will this book teach me? And I realised that, it's basically saying, look, everyone is scared to start. Everyone is scared to start. But the people that have the courage to start, and the people that go for it, the people that get to where they want to go, are the people that achieve them goals that everyone else looks at and goes, oh, mate, imagine if I did that. And
do you think that's not the courage to be disliked per se, but the courage to have an idea, have a concept, want to do something, do it, be successful at it, and any time you're successful, there's always a degree of jealousy, because people will look at that and go, they're jealous because they didn't do it, but they'll disguise that jealousy with an opinion that is based on.
But that
only
goes
how
back
they
to the
feel.
courage to
So
not to be able to go, okay, yeah, I'm going to have them opinions,
Yes.
but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes.
But let me, because I've gone on a bit of a, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm trying to get these transitions a bit smoother.
Yeah,
and
we
I
did
did quite
discuss
well
this,
for
didn't
a
we?
second there, but it went a bit on a tangent, and I was trying, so I'm just going to go straight into, I apologise if I've stopped at a sentence or I've forgotten something, but I was going on a tangent to try and explain this thing. But essentially, when I'm interested in something, if I go to the source material, I will learn more and be able to develop my own opinions on that topic or subject. And in doing that, I will have a stronger, not only a better knowledge of that thing, but also a stronger idea in myself of what that thing is to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and this doesn't mean just fiction or just non-fiction. This means everything. This isn't just self-help. This isn't just... this is anything that interests you. It might be a story. It might be a poem. It might be a factual book that's got no story. It doesn't matter. But if you go to the source material, because I find reading people are doing it now. I hear about it a lot, and I don't know whether that's because I've started reading more, but not a lot of people do it. And I've realised, wow, I can get ahead by simply reading. Like, it's such a low, like, you just got to read, and it's not expensive. But when you start to read and start to go to the source material of the subjects and the ideas you're interested in, you're able to develop your own opinion. And that opinion is stronger than opinion you've heard from someone else and now taken on.
Well, you think about a work of fiction is someone's idea, they've created a story, right? But a work of non-fiction, that has to be based on, fundamentally, on fact. There's research that's gone into that. There's source material that's been researched that then they've related to that. They've inserted it into that publication. That is factually correct because they've had to do the research to give that book some credence that this piece of work is factual.
Yeah.
Right? This is not my opinion. I've actually researched this and this is the facts. And I think, although the irony is this is going to be on social media, and of course you want to attract people to it, to watch it, but we're not abiding an opinion on things. We're talking about factual things.
And even if, because everyone has opinions and opinions do get thrown around, even if opinion is given on this, it's I always encourage to don't take any opinion as that's now set in stone. Like, no matter who it's from. Like, you could tell me something that you hate a certain thing or the reason you love a certain thing, and I'll be like, okay. And from doing my own research, I can take on my own opinion on it, but that gives me a perspective, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think it's so scary that the amount of, like, for instance, someone could watch a video, like a clip on YouTube, and it could be out of context, and it says, let's just say salmon is bad for you. Like, that's what it says. And then they make a video, they go online and say, why is salmon bad for you? So all their research is biased because they're only looking for why it's bad. And then they make a video saying, why is salmon so bad? And they post it on TikTok. And then someone on TikTok looks at it and goes, oh, wow, I can't be eating salmon, and tells their mum, oh, have you seen this? Look, salmon's bad. So now she looks at that and goes, okay, we're not cooking salmon. Now all of a sudden, 5 different people have the same opinion on salmon because of one video they looked at.
And it's all been created from nothing.
But
really.
all it could have done is someone actually going, okay, let me, instead of searching it up, let me actually, and obviously salmon is a bit like, you can't, there's no book on salmon and the ins and outs, but just taking the time to do your own research.
Yeah, but there's no policing. Anyone can put anything on. I mean, I don't do any of it, but TikTok, whatever, and anyone can put anything, and it's their truth. No one else's. It's their truth. Salmon's bad for you. Let's take that example. I believe that's bad. Why? Because it is. Yeah, but why? Well, I had some salmon. I was sick. Okay, maybe it was out of date, but that's their truth. No one else's. But they want to imbibe that on everybody else and tell everybody, and it gets shared, and it becomes. COVID was a prime example. The amount of just shit information and false information and how you can get it, and that was just created by people with no basis other than their own truth and their own belief, and it just.
Do you know how many arguments, like, you can win an argument with someone so easily nowadays by doing nothing but asking them questions?
Yeah, just ask the questions.
Just ask them questions.
Why? It's like
because eventually you get to a point where their answer is I don't know, because they haven't haven't read the source, or they haven't done their own research, or they haven't come to their own opinion.
I guarantee. The other day I was driving into Woking and I went over the M25 and there was protesters, the whole Palestinian Gaza Strip thing, right? I don't know nothing about it, so
I'm not even. Say that is a bit,
I'm not even going to pretend to have an opinion because I don't know, right? I don't know, and I don't, Maybe people say, oh, well, you should know. But no, right? But all those people that are on that bridge waving their flags and free this and do this and do that, I guarantee if you sat down with them and said, tell me the history. How did the Gaza Strip come to be? Why is there all this conflict? Why? They won't know. They've just manifested this opinion because of what they've seen online, and they feel that they should be they should have that opinion, and they get consumed by it until it's their truth. And I'm going to let everybody know what that truth is, but they don't know fuck all.
Yeah.
None of them.
That was so
None
sassy,
of them.
by the way.
No, they don't.
know fuck
They
all.
don't. I'm telling you, all these people, right? There's probably a small number that know before you even decide you're going to do something like that. Know the history behind it. Know why it happened. How was that strip of land created?
Yeah.
Why is there this massive conflict? Why are the two sides fighting? Know the history behind it. Know what, and then think, okay, is that something that I have personally? I have a strong opinion, right? Or the people that are being, the people that are leaving that strip of land, refugees, whatever, are you going to take them into your house? Are you going to put them up? Probably not. So do your research. Go to the source material. Find out the history, and then decide whether your opinion is strong enough to stand on a bridge over the M25 and wave a flag and create miles upon miles of traffic for nothing more than an opinion of what you've seen online. And that just really, funnily enough, right? Listen to this. This is going to be a bit off tangent.
Bit off tangent.
It's going to be a bit off tangent, right? So at the moment I'm reading Hell's Angels, Hunter S. Thompson.
Mike.
I'm reading Hell's Angels, Hunter S. Thompson. Right?
Okay.
Hunter S. Thompson was a gonzo journalist back in the 60s.
He created Gonzo.
Yeah, he created Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas was one of his most famous novels.
That's a film now as well.
Right. So when in the mid 60s, 65, he spent a year riding with the Hells Angels in California, and at the time they were a small. There was about 85 of them, not the behemoth they are now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a thing in here which you just think, Jesus Christ, right? If you replace.
When was this written?
So this he uses this, right? So this was written by Soren Kierkegaard, who was I think he was a Danish philosopher, in 1853. You replace the press with social media, right? And you replace readers with viewers and people that do post. Yeah. Listen to how this resonates now. The daily press is the evil principle of the modern world, and time will only serve to disclose this fact with greater and greater clearness. The capacity of the newspaper, change that to social media, for degeneration is sophistically without limit, since it can always sink lower and lower in its choice of readers. Viewers.
Mm-hmm.
At last, it will stir up all those dregs of humanity which no state or government can control. And that was 170 odd years ago that was written. You replace the press bit and the readers with social media, that is what social media does today.
Yeah. No, it is, yeah. Nothing's changed really, has
Although
it?
the irony is we want people to watch this on social media.
Well, it's... Yeah,
it's a balance.
It's a balance because... What the fuck are you doing?
I just got cramped.
Oh. I thought you just kicked your... Watch out, we got cameras and everything. You're right there.
Sorry, everyone. Just got cramp. Oh, dear.
Go on, settle down. Take a breath.
Yeah.
Look, I can see the veins on your forehead. That's what's happening. You got your slider there as well.
Yeah, there we go.
But, yeah. Things are getting a bit mental.
Yes.
But, so, in the vein of going to the source material...
Yes.
I believe that there is a lot to be learned from the books you read.
Yes.
And I think there's almost an advantage you can have in life if you choose to read the books. Because you can change your perspective without having to go through the experiences these people have gone through. And in doing so, you can navigate life in perhaps a more efficient or a more effective way. So
you think how much time people waste watching cats dancing?
Who watches cats dancing?
People do on TikTok.
TikTok.
They watch a load of rubbish on there, to be quite honest with you, right? And you just think, if they're spending half an hour every day watching just mindless... Read a book for half an hour. Read something that's going to expand your mind and make you question things and... You know,
I feel like such a parent saying it, but it is true.
It is true. I don't
understand
why people do it. or watch a podcast that you find interesting.
Yeah.
Or
Right. Anyway, I want to
Yeah.
button into my fucking transition here. But yeah. So in that vein,
Mm-hmm.
to try and showcase how you can learn things from books, I've taken 3 books. One that we just read, The Courage to Be Disliked.
Yeah.
2 more, Zero Negativity and Middleton.
Is he the SAS bloke?
He is, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And
Big Charles Bogowski.
Charles Bogowski, some of his poems. And these are books that I've read and taken from in the past, and they've helped shape my own opinions and my own choices.
Okay.
So I've got 2 passages here. Let me see. I do need a stand, don't I?
See, Dad's always right.
This talks about the art of understanding yourself, and when I talked about Eleutheria and that idea of taking action, and through taking action, you will better understand who you are, and you'll get closer to knowing kind of what you want. And this is a passage from Zero Negativity that kind of helps reinforce that idea in my mind. So,
proceed.
Thank you very much, sir. If you understand yourself, you'll find a way of achieving your goals that feels natural. Things will fall into place of their own accord. If you're relying on other people's ambitions, and if you haven't made sense of yourself and don't know yourself, you'll always end up trying to force the wrong pieces into the wrong jigsaw, and end up feeling frustrated. You will have this sense of wanting to make something work because nobody has told you that it is the right career path for you, but not really knowing why or how. If you don't know yourself, if you're not being honest with yourself, you won't recognise those crucial moments when the right opportunity emerges. You won't get the energy connection. If you look at the world from the inside out, if you're honest with yourself, if you follow stuff that excites you and maybe scares you a little, those moments that spark your body into going, whoa, this is cool. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Things will make sense and will naturally fall into place. That was a passage from the first bit. Again, thing would help in this.
Yeah, but stand.
But no, it's just that idea of having that fear and doing things that make you go, okay, let's go. And that's not always something dangerous or violent. Sometimes people are terrified of, maybe it's doing a speech, maybe it's doing some dance, maybe it's whatever it is to you. I feel like that reinforces in me the idea of, okay, I do need to follow my interests and trust that in doing so I'll figure out who I am and what I want to do. And I feel like a lot of people get lost in this Western modern world that we live in, with 9 to 5, with taking on a lot of responsibility perhaps too early, and going, oh shit, I need to make money to provide for this person, to do this, to pay this bill, instead of taking the time to go, but I love this thing, so let me stew this thing and see what opportunities come.
But again, it's fear. It's fear. Fundamentally, people are fearful of failure, of other people's opinions, of being judged. You know, they want validity. Am I doing this? What do you care what they think? That's why people put, you know, when they're doing something, they put it all over social media. They want that validity. Am I doing this right? Why are you asking these people? They're not doing what you're doing. How are they going to tell you're doing it? It's fear. It's exactly how what he said.
By the way, linking to this again, the poem that I've got one more passage I want to read from this book, and one of the poems I'm going to read to you talks directly about that idea of people, what other people think.
Yeah.
But this next one talks about the idea of and by the way, this is just from me reading this. Like, one of these is halfway down a page. Like, you get to understand these ideas from reading through them, and maybe it's one passage or 2 lines
just resonated.
That resonate. But surely, for me personally at least, reading that whole book was worth them 2 lines. So I'm going to read the whole book. Yeah. But this talks about how any and every activity you do, any action you take, can create opportunity.
Yeah.
No matter how small, how insignificant you think it is, starting to take action and not just sitting there and doing nothing can create
Of course.
opportunity
Yeah.
for you. Everyone thinks that opportunity falls out of the sky and that suddenly you'll go from 0 to 100. But opportunities don't exist outside of context. What's going to open things up for you is you grafting away. Day after day, showing people that you've got a spark about you. You're good at talking to people. Take care of the way you present yourself. That's what happened to me in Sierra Leone, by the way.
Yeah.
The fact that I was open and hard-working and made the time to speak to the Colonel ensured that when I called him up years after I first met him, he was massively up for helping me out. You'll never know what the opportunity is until it arrives. All you can do is make yourself the best version of yourself that you can, so that when the moment arrives, you can seize it. Take what inspiration you can from everybody you meet. Learn what you can. The fact that so many people cross your path means you're in the perfect position for that.
And what I've always said to you and your sister, any opportunity that presents itself to you, grab it, because you never know where that's going to lead, ever. You know, people, opportunities are present and they go, what if it goes wrong? Well, what if it goes wrong? So what? You've learned something. Take something from it.
Also, what if it goes right?
Exactly.
People don't often think about that.
Yeah.
But what if it goes right?
Look at you doing this podcast. Look at your sister doing her stuff. You're just grinding. You're just doing it. Some things won't work. Some things will work. Opportunities will present themselves. You take those opportunities. They might lead nowhere. They might lead down a rabbit hole that you just think, why the hell did I get involved? But then other opportunities you might go, wow, I'm glad I took that opportunity. Don't let anything pass like that.
And them rabbit holes that you go down will help you, because you'll figure out what you don't like through them rabbit holes and what you don't enjoy, and you will find out more about yourself either way.
Exactly. And I think people don't do that enough. I think certainly, possibly your generation, I think there's a lot of there's a lack of confidence there, I think.
I would argue that it's not just our
generation.
Yeah,
no, there's a lot of our generation that they've become...
I'd argue that your generation was very much the same, but you look at certain people now from your from your generation, and they're simply a product of not taking that opportunity.
Yeah. I think certainly in our generation, there's a lack of confidence. I think because what happens is my generation now are all in our 50s, so generally the kids, if they've got kids, they've grown up. They're young adults like yourself and Mia, right? They've moved out or they're doing their own thing, and then all of a sudden I suppose we are middle-aged, are we? I don't know. In our mid-50s, all of a sudden there's all these people in their mid-50s that have now got nothing to do. And they've got no confidence because all they've ever, they've just looked after the kids. They've run around after the kids. They haven't had time to go out. Maybe they're not as healthy, not as fit. And they've got such a lack of confidence. It's a shame. It really is. And they just go, what if someone, who cares? Yeah. And trying to say to someone, just do it.
And I don't think that idea of just doing it is just related to someone of a younger age, because it's interesting that this is why having conversations like this with you are interesting, because you can explain a perspective from an older generation that I maybe wouldn't think. But saying that makes me realise, no matter if you're 19 or 56, you can be at that point in your life at any age where you're like, oh, I wish I started, or I'm scared to start this and that. But you have the same feelings about it, whatever age you are.
Yeah.
Like, if you're your age or my age, you're still feeling, if you're starting something new, you still have them fears and them doubts and them worries.
Of course you do.
So it's not something you'll grow out of. It's something you either have to face.
But you have to manage it. You have to face it. You have to manage it.
Because if you don't, then you will get to a day where you go, fuck, I wish I did that. And I would argue that feeling is way more painful than the feeling of failure.
Yeah.
It's way more painful, the feeling of, oh yeah, I remember when I did that? It didn't quite work, but now I am where I am and who I am because of the decisions.
Well, it's like when I did the interclub, my fear of potentially not doing it was greater than my fear of actually doing it.
Yeah.
Which is why I did it. I thought I can't. I'm at a point now. If I don't do it, not only will I let myself down, I'm going to let all the people down that have been supporting me, training me, pushing me. They're cornering me now. The fear of not doing it was far outweighed the fear of doing it.
Yeah.
And that pushed me even more.
And it's such an easy thing to distract yourself from.
Yeah.
That fear of what people think if you do something.
Yeah.
Because of how busy the world is, you can easily distract yourself from that and go, oh, I'm busy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then years go by, but it always comes back like an old friend. It's always like, you didn't do it, though. Do you know
what was nice? When so my best friend, and I think one day you should have him on here, Scott. We grew up together since we were 3 years old. And when I told him I was doing Muay Thai, he just took the piss out of me. Right? Well, you've never done any fit like that. Are you going to wax on, wax off? Like, the Karate Kid, right?
Yeah.
So every time he rings me, I'm generally training. And then when I did that first interclub, I told him I was doing it. And it's a long story, but he calls me Ted, right?
Okay.
I always has done. So when I did the interclub, he rung me on the Sunday. He went, how'd you do, Ted? How'd you do? I said, I'll send you it if you want. He went, yeah, go on. And I sent him... So Craig, who was cornering with you for me, he videoed it, and I sent him that video, right? And after about an hour, he rung me back, and he went, you cool motherfucker. And I went, what? He went, that was amazing. And I went, yeah, but he went, Ted, you're doing it, mate. I'm so proud of you. He went, that was just, you're 54 years old, and you're in a ring with someone half your age. You should be so proud of yourself. There ain't many people your age that would do that. I'm so proud. And do you know what? It meant so much to me. I was like, okay, maybe I am doing something quite kind of special here. Maybe I'm doing something that's sort of out the ordinary. And I quite like that I'm not your ordinary kind of 54-year-old kind of, middle-aged person. I'm out there doing it. And that meant a lot to me. That meant an awful lot. And what you said as well. And there was people there that were saying, you did really well, mate. You should carry it. And that gave me that momentum. And then I think, why would you be fearful of that? Why would you fear doing something if that's what it gives you in return?
I think ultimately, and again, you can argue this, but I think that the unknown aspect is where the fear comes from.
Of course
it's not it's you're afraid because you don't know if that's going to happen or not. Like, you don't know. Trying it, you will find out, but you don't actually know. Because if you knew, you would do it or not do it. And I feel like going on that journey gives you the courage to go, okay, I can face uncertainty and come out on top and be able to look uncertainty in the eyes and go, yeah, I don't know, and still walk forward
and there was also
come out a better person.
Yeah, and there was also that uncertainty about my opponent, because I'm thinking it's going to be someone my age, my experience. I'm going, where is he? Where? And then I get in the ring and there's no sign of him, and Shelley gets in, and I'm like, shit, this lad's half my age. I can't. I just got to get on with it.
But you still came out and you were like,
do it.
I did it. And because you face that unknown, you can do it again.
Exactly.
And you're less afraid to do it again.
Yeah, and now I've got another one coming up on the 7th of December, and I am so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Because the way I'm seeing it now, I can't be any worse than I was. I can only be better. So that's kind of spurring me on and working on the things. He actually taught me a lot. He actually gave me a lot of positive kind of... It was a really positive experience, because I thought, right, now I know what I've got to work on, what I've got to do, how I've got to be better. And I'm actually really looking forward to the next one, because exactly that, because I think I can't be any worse. I can only get better.
And I think because you face the unknown, you're able to face it again. Yeah. You still have fear there, but it's more of a controlled, I know why I'm scared. And
do you know what pushed me even more? I'm going to go off a little bit, and maybe we'll be going on a little. But do you remember when we went to see whose fight was it? And
was it the women that
yes,
were fighting?
the fight we went to see, and we were chatting to the young girl and her boyfriend, and
her mum was fighting.
And it was her mum that was fighting, and she was in her 50s, and she was in that ring with someone half her age. She lost, But she just kept going for it. And then we saw her again at the last one.
Yeah.
And she was fighting again. She's had
Yeah.
2 fights. And I said to her, you made me want to carry on doing Muay Thai. And she went, what? And I relayed this, and she gave me the biggest hug, and she went, good luck to you. She went, anyone can do this. And that really spurred me on. I was like, yeah, I got it.
Nice one. So I'm going to carry on these passages from these books. There's Emery. How long have you been going? Okay, we got to speed this up.
Yeah.
I'm 5 minutes above over your schedule here. But there's a few poems. A poem called "Roll the Dice" by Charles Bukowski is the reason I started Eleutheria, the brand and the podcast. It is the reason I started it, and I'll read that because it is one, and I got that from reading his poems. And there was 2 others that made me look at what I'm doing in a different light and kind of reassure myself that what I'm doing is the right thing. So I'm going to read them to you. And first I'll go with Roll the Dice. Some of them weren't actually in the book, so I had to print them off because I've like read them or heard them. But Roll the Dice is what started Eleutheria, essentially. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is a gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the night will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It is the only good fight there is. That's the poem that,
There
like,
you go.
yeah.
What
That's
more
the,
do you need to say? Just
that-
do it.
Yeah. That's the poem that I read and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to start brand. I'm going to do the podcast because in doing it, I'll figure out.
Wouldn't
if I
that be a
wanna do it.
great walkout on my
Yeah.
first fight? Something like that. Just do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And then this next one, actually, I'll read.
And there is so much literature out there to encourage people just to do stuff. You know, sort of wasting time just doing nothing.
This is the next poem. It is in the book actually. It's called "No Leader Please." No leaders please. And what this poem did for me is kind of help me with that idea of that fear of starting something. For me personally, I'm always thinking 48 steps ahead of what I'm doing and what I could do with it. And then I get scared that what
kind
if,
of overthinking it initially.
and I think, but what if I do it and I don't enjoy it?
Yeah.
And now I've spent all this time planning this thing, and it was just a waste of time because I don't enjoy this thing. And this poem made me realise that if I don't like something, I can just not do it anymore and do something else.
But you've done it. That's
Exactly.
the important thing.
And so, with that in mind, with that understanding, I had less fear in starting Eleutheria because I was like, if I don't like it, if I don't enjoy it, if I don't want to do it, if it doesn't work for me, I can just do something else. I can start something else. And because it made that fear easier to deal with because it gave me a different perspective on it, I actually had the confidence to go, okay, let's start it and see what happens. But this is the part. Yourself and then reinvent yourself. Don't swim in the same slough. Invent yourself, then reinvent yourself. And stay out the clutches of mediocrity. Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Change your tone and shape so often that they can never categorize you. Reinvigorate yourself and accept what is, but only on the terms that you have invented and reinvented. Be self-taught. And reinvent your life because you must. It is your life and its history, and the present belongs only to you. So I was like, I read that and I was like,
a lot of this stuff is advocating that, you know, just take those opportunities, just do what you want to do. Don't like he did. He didn't care what anyone thought or
and
what
also
anyone said
from,
about him.
From this maybe incredible. I believe reading somewhere that or hearing somewhere that he actually died not very rich or famous or anything. Like, his work was well known after he passed.
Yeah. Like Van Gogh,
Yeah.
like Da Vinci, all
Which
of
is
those
quite
people.
interesting based on what you said.
Yeah.
But and this next one was, if you're ever unsure of something, should I do it? Should I not do it? Like, do you know what? This poem could be summed up in what you told me when I was a kid,
Okay.
and that was, if you got to think about it, don't
do it. Yeah. With the racing.
With the racing, with
Yeah.
going out, if you have to think about it,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
So this poem helped me realise sometimes you, like, if you got in an hour then sometimes just don't do it. But if it's calling out to you, do it. And it's called So You Want to Be a Writer, so you can replace writer with
anything. Yeah.
If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunch over your typewriter, searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If you're doing it because you want women in your bed, don't do it. If you have to sit there and rewrite it again and again, don't do it. If it's hard work just thinking about doing it, don't do it. If you're trying to write like somebody else, forget about it. If you have to wait for it to roar out of you, then wait patiently. If it never roars out of you, do something else. If you first have to read it to your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your parents or to anybody at all, you're not ready. Don't be like so many writers. Don't be like so many thousands of people who call themselves writers. Don't be dull and boring and pretentious. Don't be consumed with self-love. The libraries of the world have yawned themselves to sleep over your kind. Don't add to that. Don't do it. Unless it comes out your soul like a rocket. Unless being still would drive you to madness or suicide or murder, don't do it. Unless the sun inside you is burning your gut, don't do it. When it is truly time, and if you have been chosen, it will do it by itself, and it will keep doing it until you die or it dies in you. There is no other way, and there never was. And even reading
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Even reading it, I'm like just that idea of taking, like, going off and doing your own thing, and just that really inspired me to do Eleutheria, basically. So, I feel like I just did a fucking English class. So, kids, ladies and gentlemen, but in that essentially this podcast,
interesting one.
this episode is a bit more. It's a bit more of a thinker. My goal for it was to try and encourage other people to maybe pick up a book and go, okay, I'm interested, and just start looking at what they're interested in.
Read more and do Muay Thai.
Or do what you want to do, what you enjoy doing. You have become
Stop
like
making
a
excuses.
spokesperson for
If you
Muay
want to
Thai.
do it, do it. There you go.
But yeah, so in that vein, I believe very much in practicing what you preach.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a collection of books here with my little Buddha, fucking keeping them safe. We're going to pick a book each from this collection. There's quite an eclectic taste. Henry, can we see all of them on the screen? Cool. And we're going to read it over the next week or two.
Yeah, but I'm already reading. Okay, so I've got to stop reading this one and read one of these.
No, you can do it however you want, but
Okay.
it needs to be read in the next week or two. And
Yeah, but I've read this one.
okay, could I finish my prompt, please?
Sorry.
And afterwards,
Mm.
in our next podcast,
Mm.
we're going to talk about that story and lessons from it that we have learnt through reading that book, basically. So, we've got
Okay.
Plato the Republic, book on philosophy. There's two of these because my sister had one,
Yeah.
and I thought just in case we chose the same one. So, that's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Peaky Blinders, the real story, a bit of history into the actual gangs in Birmingham and like the true history behind it.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Devilfish, which is a story about essentially a gambler and a poker legend, it says. So,
Who played poker with your grandfather, actually?
yes,
Yeah.
he did. So we've got a book about a poker player and his
Mhm.
life. We've got, could you please read that for me?
Homo Deus.
Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow. If you've ever known, it says it on here, but Sapiens,
That's
the same
a long
author,
book, isn't it?
but it is a big chunky boy.
It's chunky. Like that. Okay.
We've got American Psycho.
Brilliant.
Don't think it
Graphic.
really needs much.
Yeah.
We've got. I've never read this.
Very
We've got Look
good.
Who's Back, which I
very
believe
good.
is a comedy. It's kind of satire,
It's
isn't it?
basically Hitler comes back in the modern era and makes the most of social media. It's very funny.
We've got Meditations.
Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius and
See, we're
Meditations.
educated here.
We've got a bit more history. We've got Dunkirk, the
right.
history behind Dunkirk, and then we've got a bit of non-fiction. We've got 4-Hour Work Week.
That's more of a lifestyle one.
We've got Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah, okay.
We've got Robert Greene's Mastery, which is kind of like, I don't actually know. It's just talks.
48 Laws of Power.
I do know. I've read
Yes,
48 Laws of
yes,
Power, and
yeah,
it talks
yeah.
about the art of mastering
Yeah,
your thing.
yeah.
And then we've got the CIA Book Club. By the way, this was like 30 quid in Waterstones. I bought it and never finished it, so I do want to read it still because it's a
Okay.
really interesting story. I
Okay.
just never, you know, when you ain't picked a book up in a while and you've kind of lost the story.
Yeah.
And it talks about. Whoa.
Hidden behind the books.
And it just talks about during the Cold War, I believe it was, that there was books
They smuggled books across the Iron Curtain
in
didn't
order
they?
to help educate
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
essentially so they could have their own opinions
Yes.
and they weren't
yes,
just
they weren't just
thrown-
listening to
listen to
the
what.
the Russian propaganda.
Yeah. So it ties in quite nicely.
Yeah,
What we're talking
okay.
about. So that's the last book there. So they're the books. We're going
Right.
to choose one each.
I'm going to go with Marcus Aurelius, Meditations.
I'm going to go with. I should have thought of this, shouldn't I? Do you know what? I'm going to go with Dunkirk.
Okay.
Bit of history.
All right.
So we'll give it. How many pages is this?
Are they big words?
Oh, no, it's all right. It's like 300 odd, 400 odd,
Okay.
350. And next episode
With us.
with us,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about the book. A little book club time now. We're just gonna go through the lessons we've learnt from reading that book.
Okay.
So we've got history and philosophy, and it's just to be a bit of talking about taking action stuff, doing it ourselves, and going, okay. Let's see what we can learn from it.
Actually, I'm quite looking forward to reading this because this has been quite.
It is a well-known book.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a little that was an episode with me and my dad. I'll leave them there for now. Just to reiterate, this is a new setup. I'm planning to do so. Next episode should be with Jared and Mikey, who have both been on the pod before. They're going to be here together. We're going to go through Mikey's most recent fight.
Is that when
And-
you can say, can we bring it up?
That is.
Brilliant.
And we can have a breakdown of the fight. It'll be an interesting kind of perspective to see from a coach and a fighter, their mentality and everything like that. So we're going to go through all of that.
Could I sit in on that one? Am I allowed?
Yeah, you can sit. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. There'll be 3 people, so you can sit over there. But
Can we do it on a Saturday night? So.
I'm not drinking this month. But
okay.
I
That's-
think
that's not drinking. That's just enjoying.
okay, fair enough. But that's an interesting loophole. But yeah, so we're gonna go through that. That'll be the next episode. But I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm gonna try and do one with my dad. He's gonna be helping me co-host some episodes. If there's 2 guests, it'll be just me and the guests. And I'm gonna try and it'll try and be like this kind of dynamic once every 2 weeks or so. I'm trying to upload every week. So shout out to Henry. We've got a new setup.
Yo, Henry.
And we're sorting that out.
What are you
now,
saying?
so we're sorting that out now. So can you shut up? I'm trying to outro. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you, son. Thank you. Goodbye.
Any send off? Yeah. Goodbye. See ya.